Describe Khaled in as many words as you can.
Khaled is very courageous,
Loyal,
Loving,
an angel,
inspirational,
Ambitious.
lovable, exciting,
a hard worker,
compassionate,
incredible,
very loving,
caring,
and family.
Definitely someone that you can depend on.
dramatic. But we all love that.
To do with your kiss on my neck.
Who is Khaled?
Ambitious, spontaneous, crazy, indecisive, authentic and unique. A day in my life, I wake up, say my prayers, wash my face with expensive face wash. I tackle the day, whatever the day is, man. Every day I just think of what's gonna further me to where I wanna be. That's kind of a day in my life. I find it hard to kind of wanna do something that isn't necessarily a norm for most people. I mean, I work at a 9 to 5. I hustle just like everybody else in terms of trying to have a stable, healthy, comfortable life. But I do find it difficult sometimes in the sense of trying to pursue something that isn't necessarily a norm for most people.
Do you believe in destiny?
I believe in destiny to a certain degree. I believe that you're only gonna get as far as you push yourself. I don't feel like everyone's story is completely written. I feel like it's written to a certain degree. There's an empty chapter for you to kind of write. I feel like I struggle with confidence, yeah, every single day. I doubt myself just like anybody else would doubt themselves. I mean, it's not necessarily a norm to be 27 years old and still trying to pursue a goal or a dream that some people don't understand it. And I think that's where the struggle comes in, because sometimes you work so hard and then you have really great, amazing opportunities that come up, and then you have a lot of letdowns, and I think that's where the struggle comes in terms of doubting yourself. But you just kind of roll with the punches.
Have your announcements.
I always knew I was gonna hustle for my dreams, because I have like the hustler mentality in my blood. You know what I mean? I always pictured a certain lifestyle, a certain aesthetic towards life. And when I say a lifestyle, I don't mean the materialistic, I don't mean the money, I don't mean any of that superficial stuff. I just always pictured expressing my feelings through art. And I made it a priority, being so young, to have it be such a serious mindset, to always chase after what I wanted. I remember when I was like 12 or 13, or honestly even back to when I was like 6, dancing and singing in a play park, and I would make fake tickets for everybody to come watch. I remember I would tell everyone, like, one day I'm gonna perform in an arena in my hometown. That was always one of my biggest goals. It wasn't to be on the radio, it wasn't to do any of that stuff. It was to be able to perform in a big venue with big artists. And then I remember at 16 I got to open for Sean Kingston, and ever since then it kind of just kept rolling in, because I kept that momentum and that drive and that hustle really going. So I really feel like it's just like that 5-year-old ambition in me that just kind of keeps me pushing every day. spent 2 years writing anonymous, and I remember I wrote over 60 songs, and I just had such a writer's block that I went through this like turbulence with life. I felt all these different emotions for like a really short period of time, and I remember I was alone at night. You know, every time I had to go hang out with my friends, or I would try to go out and party and, you know, go to a club or to a restaurant or to a lounge, and I would just like hang out just to kind of clear my mind from whatever it is I was dealing with. I'd still come home and be by myself and be all alone, and I remember that's where Lonely Boys Party in the Night came from. I feel lonely to a certain degree. I mean, I have all the friends in the world, I have all the family in the world, and I'm so blessed, and I'm not naive or oblivious to that fact, but I'd have to say, yeah, just like anybody else, I think we all feel a little bit lonely. I didn't necessarily have a certain audience in mind when I wrote this EP. I knew what I wanted to project through the sound of the EP and through what I was putting out into the universe, and that was to really resonate and connect with the boys that do feel lonely at night, or the girl that feels lonely at night, or just anyone in general who goes out just to clear their mind and then comes home and feels like the world's a small place. I can be inspired by the most simple things in life. That's just how I've always been. I started writing poetry when I was so young, and I can be inspired literally by sitting in a park and staring at the tree, or inspired by a stranger that I passed by on the street, or necessarily be inspired by like what I'm feeling in the moment or in the day. I can write the saddest song even if I feel sad just for a minute out of that day, or I can write the happiest song if I feel happy in that moment. It's just what I do.
Do you remember the background? Like the most awkward one?
Let's talk about the first single off the EP, Oddly Enough. You really tell a story with the lyrics on that track.
Oddly Enough is kind of speaks for itself. It like I said earlier, I was having writer's block, and one day I came home, put down all my blinds. I was having such a shitty day, and I smoked a whole pack of cigarettes, and I felt like so much anger and confusion into what I was feeling. And I remember the only thing I could do was write, and I was jotting on paper with pen, and I just kept writing and writing and writing, and everything that was coming out of me, even though I felt angry, didn't come out angry. And then it hit me like within that moment, I was like, holy fuck, you can literally, I think I was so mad that I couldn't be mad. It was one of those situations where I was like so angry that I couldn't be angry.
To ask my friend if I was just tripping when we used to lay in my bed at night, baby, just kicking. Used to tell me about your life, even though you usually didn't. Had me feeling types of ways, oh goddamn, I'ma miss it. Now you got me feeling like such a bad motherfucker. I'm too warm in the club, such a sad motherfucker. And I'm empty in the bottles of a Patron. Stumble all the way home, make sure I turn off my phone. And I ain't tripping, I'm just saying that you made me so mad. I know you think you're reminiscing about the times that we had. Let's face it, we both know that the shit wouldn't last. Put the shit in the past, put the shit in the past. But you had it good, you know.
What is his worst quality?
He talks way too fucking much. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I swear?
And his worst quality, I would say, is that he cares too much sometimes, and he, uses his heart too much.
I'm so sorry. I don't think he has worse qualities. I mean, everybody has worse qualities, right?
But yeah, I think he thinks too much into everything, and he's a really caring person, so that also can go into kind of the bad side, because he could care too much about what one person thinks, and maybe he should just worry about himself a little bit more.
I think sometimes he cares too much, and that can hurt him.
I would say that his worst quality is that Khaled cares too much, and he definitely goes above and beyond. And I feel like sometimes to protect himself, that he just should be careful.
Even though it is a weakness, it's also a strength that he can care so much for so many people. And yeah, I always look up to him. Even in his weaknesses, I look up to him.
Not enough love from you.
Feel like he's misunderstood?
Yes, quite a bit of time, because he gets lost in his own head, and I think people don't understand him because he's very passionate about everything he does, even being a best friend.
Khaled's talent is misunderstood, I think. I don't think he is misunderstood. I think people underestimate his talent and how much he could impact music.
I mean, most people are, especially artists, right? I feel like he can be misunderstood, yes, but real recognizes real. People take that as overpowering when he's just trying to always help people and being nurturing, and they take it as him trying to like be their boss all the time when it's not. That's not a factor.
I could see that he could be by others, but to me, he definitely isn't.
Khaled is a character, so I feel like he can be misunderstood, but at the same time, I feel like he's really relatable. So I guess it depends coming from the person. I feel like when I first started getting to know him, I really had to take the time to just be with him and really get to know him and understand who he is. But once you like get to know him, he's like such a relatable person, and you don't really have to worry about anything like that. So yeah, I feel like anybody, you can be misunderstood, but after you get to know him, he's relatable and just such an awesome person.
Goddamn, I'ma miss it. Now you got me feeling like such a bad motherfucker. I'm too warm in the club, such a sad motherfucker. And
My worst quality is I care too much, and I put too much energy and too much effort into others that I kind of forget myself and put myself on the back burner sometimes. I'm learning to be more selfish, and I'm kind of enjoying it, to be honest, because I'd always hear from one of my best friends, Charisse, which, like, I always look up to her and her, like, advice and her wisdom, because she always came from not the easiest upbringing, but she's always just such a strong, opinionated person, and sometimes it would annoy me because I'm like, she would tell me, like, you're too nice, you need to be selfish, and blah, 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 and I would ignore it. And then as I got older, like, I really understand that now, and I wish I knew that earlier. I think there's a big difference between anger and hurt. Anger, all you see is red. You're angry, you're livid, you're furious, you are so blinded by that red light that you don't necessarily see any positive in any situation. Where hurt, you feel vulnerable and you're kind of kicked down and beaten down to the curb, that you are left to do nothing but pick yourself up, and that means forgiving. And that's what distinguishes hurt from anger.
Got nothing but love for you. I enough, still nothing but love for you. Oh yes, I do. Yeah, not enough, not enough.
What impact has Khaled made on you?
Oh man, he's definitely changed the way I see Edmonton, that's for sure. You know, it's cool hanging out with him. I never had friends really that were artists or in the industry. making music. So I mean, we get together and we be freestyling some rhymes, and it was fun. Hanging out with him was awesome.
I feel like Khaled has definitely let me know that you could do anything. And if there's anything you want in life, that you should definitely go for it.
He has made me become a stronger person in my life and a stronger woman in general, because I was going through like hard times, and he's just made me a better person in everything in my life. He's made me very, very strong to be an independent person.
Well, before I met Khaled, I was never really, into fashion that much and, really expressing myself through it. And since I met Khaled, I realized that, I can wear whatever I want, and as long as I know that I look good in it, that it doesn't matter what other people think about it. So
this is hard. I heard it was easy questions. These aren't easy.
So Khaled has made a lot of impact on my life. I consider him like an older brother. He's been there for me when like a lot of people other people haven't been there for me. He's just an awesome guy. He cares so much, and the impact that he's made is he's helped me through everything. He's always there for me if I need support, and always giving me advice. And I feel like he's gone through a lot, so he understands a lot, and he knows how to pull himself out of situations and kind of see the whole picture. And I think that's a really good trait to have. And like when you need help with something, he's always there for you. So that's impacted me a lot, and just being there for me has been amazing.
Writing's always been therapy to me, I mean, I enjoy jogging and I enjoy running and I enjoy the little simple things like that, but nothing calms me more down. I can be having an anxiety attack or a panic attack, and nothing calms me down more than putting on my earphones and escaping reality and just like writing about music and writing about how I feel in the moment, even if I don't understand what I'm feeling. Just whatever comes, whatever ejects through my body onto that paper is just makes sense to me, even if in the moment it doesn't. So it's always been my therapy. It'll always literally be my therapy. I think my outlook on life has always been the same. I always was taught to appreciate the little things around me and the little people around me, and to always do good when I can. And I feel like those traits and those habits have always been ingrained in me, and there always will be. Obviously, as I grow older, I become bitter towards certain situations or towards certain people, but it's weird. No matter how shitty life can get, or how angry I feel, or how sad I feel like it's my job to keep that positivity and like put it back into the universe.
Cigarette after cigarette.
I do trust a lot of people because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I feel like a lot of people have their own, when they say everybody has a story that can break your heart. I truly believe that, and I think it's necessary to trust people. If you know where you stand in any situation, that's where people get bitter in situations. They get angry because somebody hurt them, or because they've allowed someone in who reacted in a way they didn't see fit to the situation. Where I feel like so young, I was always mature in the sense that I knew trusting people was okay, but you have to trust people to a certain standard or a certain degree. Lonely Boys Partying the Night theme, I guess you can say, was out of anger, sadness, and hurt. It's just what I was feeling in the moment. I wrote that EP in 5 days because I went through a time of turbulence, and those were the things I was feeling. And there was no one that could tell me any different in how I felt.
Take my heart and run away, and run away.
I remember actually being with this person when the night I wrote Sober, and it was one of those situations where I didn't know where I stood in somebody's life. And Sober is not necessarily an angry song. Like if you were to hear it, I don't think any song really on the EP is an angry song, but when I wrote Sober, it was kind of at a point where I didn't know where I stood in somebody's life, and I guess it was based on anger at the moment when I first started writing it. But as I finished it, just like oddly enough, it was so freeing that I couldn't even be angry by the end of it, because as I said, it all goes back to knowing where you stand. If your feelings and your emotions are authentic and genuine and real, then you shouldn't have to doubt how you reacted towards a certain situation, you know? And I think that's what Sober is about. It's saying, this is me, I know where I stand, take it or leave it.
What was your first impression of him?
I fell in love at first sight because he's like my brother. I'm gonna start crying.
Oh, when I first met Khaled, it was awesome actually. He was eating at Earl's with my sister, and it was the first time I ever met him. Just moved to Edmonton, and he was cool. And he was different, and I was just attracted to him. His aura was dope, and I definitely wanted to know more about him.
But yeah, I fell in love at first sight with him. We were like connected as soon as we got introduced.
One word extra. He's a lot at first, but then you really get to know him.
Well, when I first met him, I was like, that's gonna be my husband. But that didn't turn out, so.
He shows that he's just so amazingly caring and just such an amazing person. And I'm very blessed to call him one of my best friends.
The first time I met Khaled, I was at Evolution Wonder Lounge, and I looked across the dance floor and I saw someone walking in, and he was wearing his big fur coat that he wears when he likes to be extra. So that's my very first memory of him.
Only fucking with the best. Let me go like I was less. Now it's time to confess how you feel. Show me how you feel.
He loves everyone, and he's a giver. I think that's his best quality, and he takes everyone in as a family member.
His heart. He has a really big heart.
Uplifting others, he's really, really good at that.
That's one of the reasons why I'm still his friend for so long, is because of his heart.
Khaled's best quality is that he is a fierce friend. He will fight for you, and he will always be there for you.
He's a hard worker. One of his inspirations in music is Britney Spears, and the song that like fits him to a T is Work Bitch, because she says, if you want a Maserati, you better work, bitch. And I think that everything that he's done, he's put the work in, and he deserves everything that he's getting, and I'm very, very proud of him for that.
This ain't never what you wanted. This ain't never what you needed. We both know it's true. So empty-hearted. City lights so bright, but you're still feeling blue. If we're being honest, from the beginning I always wanted it to be you.
What goes on in your head when you see or hear Khaled's music?
Man, I get goosebumps. Every time he drops a track, I'm always telling him how much it means to me and how amazing it is, and he's so good at what he does. His music is so deep.
I cry because I feel like he's like a very passionate person when he makes his music, and this, compared to the last album, this album that he's done, he like poured his heart and soul, and it was a broken soul that he poured this into this album.
All the times that he's shown me the rough drafts of everything and the development of everything that he has been creating, and it's really cool to see it come from the lyrics to the actual finished product. And I always have good memories of obviously hearing any of Khaled's music, so you know, one of the things I think of when I hear his music is, you know, happiness and good times with him.
Getting to hear him create the second EP has just been such an experience because you truly see the artistry going into the work that he's doing and how he can turn a situation into such an amazing song, and you just feel all of his emotion put into it. And I think that knowing the situations where the songs are coming from just makes you so much more invested in him.
What I think about it is it really helps me cope with like a lot of similar things that we go through in life. He's really good at explaining that and like digging deeper than just the surface.
It just really validates how talented he is as an artist, because from going through stuff that he goes through to be able to then focus all that energy onto writing and putting in the hours and the hours that he has on editing the music and in the studio. I've watched him in the studio and he's amazing and he's very particular, so like just being there through the process has been amazing.
This ain't really what I planned out. This ain't really what my heart's telling me to do. Baby kinda sprung out. City lights so bright, but I'm still feeling blue. And baby, can you feel it? The taste of regret, oh, on the tip of your tongue. I promise, I promise, I promise, baby, oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, I feel like with Anonymous, I took so much time because it took 2 years in writing it. I moved to Toronto. I worked with so many different producers, commercially successful producers, and then I thought, I need a sound. I need to find something that audiences will love. I was so on the grind in what's gonna make me popular or make me pop off, and what's gonna, you know, make an audience want to listen to my music. And then by the end of it, I ended up picking 9 of my most genuine, honest songs, and the reaction towards that was like everything I wanted and more. That with this EP, because I did feel, you know, I had, like I said, shitty days, and I wrote it within that week. I just wanted to be honest. I wanted to be genuine. I wanted to be real, and I wanted to connect with every single lonely boy and lonely girl who feels isolated in the world. I feel cautious with what I'm portraying through my music to a certain degree. I feel like at this point, after releasing music prior to this, I was way more cautious. And when I say cautious, I mean in the sense of every time I write a song and I finish it, you know what I mean? I'll be so into the song, I'll record it, I'll put it out, and then when I sit in my bed alone at night and I'm listening to my music, I'm like, holy fuck, you can take this, you know, perceive this in so many different ways, or this person's gonna think it's about them, or maybe that person's gonna think it's about them. But now I honestly don't give a fuck.
One day you realize you're hypnotized.
Do I feel like Khaled was meant to pursue a career in music? Absolutely.
I don't think there's any other option for Khaled other than music. I feel like it's weird when he's doing anything else. He's so successful as a hairstylist. Yes, he's a very successful person with his salon, but like there's another level to it.
I definitely do. I feel like Khaled's music is so unique. It's very different to like a lot of artists that I hear lately. So I definitely feel like Khaled's one of the more unique ones, and he should definitely continue.
Where his music is above everything for him, and he's so invested in it. The time that he puts into it, like the work, seeing all that, I just think that he is, there's nothing really else for it, like for him. Like it's just music is his thing.
Absolutely. I mean, his voice is amazing. The music he writes is authentic. You know, I wish the best for him.
Yeah, this is his gift, and God gave him a gift of voice, and he's doing wonderful things, and he's gonna go beyond everything he's ever imagined of.
Do you find it hard to lay your feelings out on the line for the world to know?
I think anyone laying out their feelings out to the universe, it's a scary thing. But that's the beauty of life, right? It's like, we pass 1 million people on the streets every single day, and you'll never know what somebody's feeling. So if my music, and me being vulnerable in my music, whether 10 people hate it and 2 people like it, it makes it worth it for me to know that I connected with those people. So being vulnerable is like, it's crazy because I was never that vulnerable person, but as I'm getting older, being vulnerable has been one of the most amazing like experiences of my life. It sounds so cheesy and I never thought I'd ever be someone to say that, but it really, really has.
What is your favorite song off the EP?
I don't have a favorite song. They're all my favorite songs. I always think it's this one, then it's that one. Like I said, it just depends on my mood. I'm a Libra. I'm like all over the damn place. People can't keep up with me. I can't even keep up with my emotions half the time. So I mean, I love them all. I'm really proud of this EP.
So, Khaled leaves the earth tomorrow. What is he leaving behind?
Oh my god, that's so sad. I don't even want to think about that.
Well, first off, he leaves behind a lot of broken hearts. Especially for me, I think what I miss the most is how big of a mentor he is for me. He's almost like an older sibling that I've never had, considering I'm the oldest. He gives me a lot of confidence and advice, and I would really miss that.
That makes me really sad. I think the biggest thing for him that he leaves behind is his family and the impact that he's made on his family, because his life is his family. His life is his mom, his dad, his siblings, his friends are his family, and the music is like one thing for him, but I feel like his whole life is surrounded by his family and friends. And if he left this world, I feel like the world's gonna cry. Like his friends are gonna be sad. I truly would be lost if he left this world tomorrow.
Well, let's hope he doesn't, because I'm gonna cry. But if he did, God forbid he doesn't, he'd be leaving behind a lot of love and compassion and a lot of music for broken hearts.
I mean, I hope this doesn't happen because I'd be pretty pissed off. But if Khaled leaves the earth tomorrow and he's no longer here, he's definitely made an imprint on a lot of people's lives.
He would leave behind, a great group of people who love him and who know that he, made an impact on them, and he would leave great music as well.
Not only with his music, but just as him as a person. Like I said, he's just so caring and he helps everyone. He has such a big heart that when something happens to someone, he doesn't only help them, but he feels it as well. He knows his friends, and like he goes through what I go through, and he's always there for me. And he'll be imprinting on, or he's imprinted on a lot of people. So he'll be leaving a lot of memories and a lot of good fucking music. And that's all I have to say about that on that. So.
You leave the world tomorrow. What is it you want to leave behind?
If I was to leave the world tomorrow, I would love to leave behind my optimism and my wisdom to the people I love. And a lot of people don't know, but that's one of the reasons why I also do music. It's honestly not, it was never to like make money, or I've done 1 million and I still do 1,000,001 shows for free, and I do so many things that come out of my pocket. It's never been any of that for me. It's to literally leave behind something that's never gonna die, and that's my music, because it's gonna live on forever. And I think it's beautiful.